Okay, so today we've got on Ade Omisakin, 83 kilo from GB, just put up an incredible performance at the Arnold UK, and we will discuss his performance, what's going forward for just in GB in general, plus him, and then just the background and everything. So Ade, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, thanks for the intro. I'm Ade Omisakin. I'm an 83 kg lifter. Been competing powerlifting. It's my sixth year now. Started in 2019. Actually started in Sheffield because I went uni there. So I joined the society there, and then that's how I actually got started. What else? And then what should I note about myself? Oh yeah, I also competed in 74s, but I've moved up 2 years ago. So yeah, that's roughly myself.
Okay. So just in general, so what's you said you've been competing this your sixth year. So what's your
Yeah.
background in terms of powerlifting? Like where did you play sports before? Were you in the gym? Like
Oh
how'd you get
yeah.
into powerlifting?
Okay, so how did I get into powerlifting? So, like I said before, I joined through my actual university team. So I joined through Strength Sports, Sheffield. That's one of my mates, Vic, Hugh, put me forward. Actually, I was on the phone to Vic just before this, but he's the one that actually put me forward to actually starting powerlifting. Because at the time I did, so actually I came off, did a charity boxing event, and I was doing boxing with the society, and obviously I joined Strength Sports, and I was like, I couldn't compete in boxing because obviously I just joined the team, but so when you do varsity, they got to match you with somebody who's like similar level with you. I didn't do enough sessions with them, but then for powerlifting, I could actually compete because you don't need like any. So I think at the time we didn't have like qualifying tools for books. So that was the first one I did. I literally found out about powerlifting like 3 weeks before, signed up, did everything, and I just joined, and I just kind of went from there. So background prior to powerlifting, did rugby in college, done other little bits like Wing Chun, did some judo, but like not super long period of time. I've done other like stuff here and there. But the main one was rugby.
Okay. So yeah, rugby in general, I would say is probably one of the fiercer sports. People are pretty strong. I mean, pretty big people in rugby. So you were at that time you were smaller, obviously. I mean, you started
Oh
when
yeah.
you started powerlifting, you were 74 kilos. So and maybe
Yeah.
even
Oh
smaller
dude,
then. So
yeah, I think how I actually started rugby was because I was in judo, and then like my one of the coaches saw me and was like, oh, like come do rugby, because I'd flipped the year above. As I was like super small, but then I'd flipped this guy who's like super tall, like, and he's like, oh, what the hell's this? And he's like, come try us. So then I went to do it. And then yeah, did it from year nines till college, and then kind of fizzled out. Tried it in uni, but I wasn't too keen on like the rugby vibe, and it gets a bit different when you get to uni. It's like you guys have like frats and stuff, but ours is like societies, and then it's like a bit people get a bit like there's like a rugby culture, and just not my vibe.
right. Okay. So you got into powerlifting, and then once you got into powerlifting, so you started competing. You were in the 74s, and then like pretty quickly, like I guess your second or third year in, you made it to like a pretty high level. You won Euros for juniors. You came second at Junior Worlds, so you were making good progress. And then obviously you moved up. So what happened? You just like filled out the class, and you were like, what happened then?
Oh, so yeah, I think when I started, I was like 74, super light 74. I was like 71. Got my powerlifting meets sheet on the side, so 71.6. I was pretty light when I started out. So yeah, 2019, I was 74 for 2019, 2020, and then 2021. So, and then from there I moved up. So to be fair, actually from Worlds, before Worlds, I had like issues with my back. So it was kind of like hindered my progress in a sense of, but it was okay going into Worlds and then a little bit going into Euros. But then after that, like it flared up again. So like progress hasn't been like super consistent over the last like year and a half. I've just been dealing with that. And then obviously now like I'm over it, so I can kind of actually progress more consistently, which is why I like it's been more like linear into my progression.
Okay. The worlds that you went to that was a worlds that was a combined junior and open, right? Like everyone was together.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
so that was I think that was the last time that they did worlds, junior worlds together with the open. Okay, so that was probably a fun experience. And
yeah.
that was
It
your
was crazy because I got to meet everybody. Like got to meet Russ. Got a picture of him. Got to meet Keiko. A few other guys as well. But I think those are like the two. I was like, oh, cool, to get to see these guys. But then obviously now I don't have that. But it was in Sweden, Vasteras, I believe it was. But yeah, it was in Sweden. It's cool.
Right. As a 74, like coming up, who was like the lifter like you looked up to? Who was like the lift like you're like, okay, this I want to be this guy, or I want to beat this guy or be as strong as this guy. Who was like that person for you?
Okay, so 74s, I'd say how it started for me was because actually when I started powerlifting, so they books. I think I went in with the intention of like placing top 10 or something within books. It was like because books is like where all the universities come together. So it was like like 50 or 40 something. And then so I competed, placed 16th. I was pissed. I was like, fuck's sake, man. I thought like my total would get me at least 10th. So I did it. So I was like, that's where like I was like, okay, cool. I need to who am I gonna go for? So I went for Nathan Winsala. He's like at the time it was like the 74 junior guy. He was like doing really well. And then I was like, okay, cool. His total was like 630. I was like, okay, cool. He's the guy I'm gonna go for. And at the time my total was like 512. So it was a fair bit of distance. So I was like, but he was just like the motivation for me that year. And I think I went up to like 600 that year just from chasing him. And I think I did 630 in the gym end of the year just because I was like super light. I'm trying to get this guy. I think he was like probably like the first 74 I was trying to go after. And then it was also Luke Rogers. He was like the guy who had the open total in GB at the time. So after the 1/8 thing was like, okay, cool. Who's next? It was like Luke Rogers. He had like the 702 at like the total record at the GB. So that's when I went for from like 2020 to 2021 when I hit it. I think it was him. Usually I pick people like in my country or I can kind of inspire myself to get to because it's like a little bit ahead because it's easy to chase.
Right.
Opposed to like looking for like a Taylor. It's easier for like I have someone like that's a bit far ahead, but I can picture it. Taylor is a bit like I want to do 830, but fucking far, man.
Right. So then you eventually, I mean, while you were still 74, did you end up were you the number 174 even in the open in GB?
Oh yeah, I did that. And so after I did that in 2021, I moved up because I was like, there's no one like left, dude. It just gets a bit boring. There's no one to compete against. So I moved up, and then it was like, okay, cool. Who's next? There's like Durans, and I was like, cool, it's fun. But Durans is a bit harder because like whenever I tried to chase Durans, I couldn't catch Durans. Especially because I was dealing with injuries. I was like, okay, cool. So I just had to like kind of let that go in the sense of just focus on like because my approach has kind of changed now. It's more like what do I need to do to just kind of progress opposed to trying to chase people because it doesn't work as well now for me. So I just kind of like just focused on myself. But yeah, did that in that's like 2021.
Right. Okay. So just in general, so your last three meets have been like it's just been like straight progress. Like for a little bit, like it looked like there was like a down meet at whatever this White Lights Championship. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what that means. Were you injured or something? I'm assuming just based off your
Oh
attempts.
yeah. So like white lies, man. I feel like in powerlifting, there's like these little things that happen to you where like, you get taught a lesson of like it's I call it like beta paradox. It's like you have like beta phases where it's like you have situations that kind of go badly, which make you improve. So it's like for me, I've had 2 points where it's like I've had a meet which is where I've been injured and I compete regardless. But I'm like I get super fixated on the total. Like it was 74s, it was like whiny. I did 750. I went to go for 750 that meet, but I ended up doing like 600, six something because I had that's when my back issue started because I was pushing too hard in training. And then similarly in white lights, I wanted to go for 800 in white lights because of how well training was going. But then again, like my back had filled up in training, but I was like, I'm going to push regardless. And then I went to go compete and then just had a shit show opposed to like taking time off and just like recovering. So from then on, it's been like more like, okay, where am I at right now? And then what do I need to do to get back? So like I thought about, okay, cool. Over the next like three meets, I'm just going to like, what I want to do is probably like 820 something. But where I am right now is like possibly 800, but I've also need to get back from this injury. So my next meets are going to set me up for that. So it's like the first one's going to be just me just getting using the groove, just doing something that's super easy, comfortable. My next meet is going to be like more on what I actually want to be. So like So my August meet I did in, which is Manchester Open, was like my little tune-up meet. Then what I did selections was what I wanted to do at White Lights, so like a year prior, but I couldn't do it because of obvious reasons. And then actually what I did at Manchester Open is like something I've been like dreaming of doing for a while because I actually want to do that at nationals against Germans, but didn't pan out due to my injuries.
So did you actually compete at nationals before this? I'm like looking and like I know the
No,
whole like GB national system is just weird. There's like way more meets, so it's like it's not like as simple as like certain countries like you do nationals and then you go to worlds or whatever. It's like there's all these other meets. So in general, speaking of other meets, what made you choose to do the Arnold UK versus Euros?
Okay, so with Euros and Arnold, I didn't really get a choice in the sense of I couldn't do Euros because I'd missed weight at selections by 0.25. Yeah. So
You
yeah,
waited.
yeah,
Did you wait
yeah.
to the end of weigh-ins and like you tried to make weight and
So
just
like basically when I'd left, the meet was like wasn't too far from me. It was in Warrington. So like I'd made weight at home, but usually my scale's like half at 0.3 off. So that's like what I've got averages I've written down for like calibrated to my actual scale. I'd gotten to that point at home. I was like, cool, I'm at weight. I get to weigh-ins and I'm like 83.65 and I'm like, oh fuck, okay. This is
oh god.
weird. So I'm like, nah, there's no way. So I'm arguing to the point of like, nah, this can't be real. Like, there's no way I'm this heavy. Like, I've left home at weight. I'm not at weight here. So then I was like, and then everyone else was like, yeah, but some people like we weighed in heavy that day as well. Like it's a scale. We take weights in like outside, we put them into the weight to the actual scale to test. And the scale tests fine. So I'm like, okay, fuck, okay. It's not the scale. It's us. So I'm like, ah, shit, okay. So then I start like cycling. Someone lends me some sweets. I try spitting. I dropped to like 83.25, but I ran out of time, so like I can't go any further. So like
Oh
I
wow.
literally eat for like half an hour and I just go out to train. No, not train, go out to compete because I might as well. But they let me compete at 93s, so it was still fine. But yeah, that's kind of what
So
happened.
how does that work? Meaning the British selections comp, I'm not sure what kind of meet is that. Is that like a replacement for nationals since nationals is too late this year, or like what is it?
So like with the calendar changing, they obviously need to be able to pick people. So they put up the selections meet as like a way to do it, opposed to doing nationals because they couldn't because nationals was early in the year. And
Right.
then obviously for the next year, because the calendar's changed, they had the selections meet to give you opportunity to qualify. But obviously, because my total was at 93s, it wouldn't qualify me for 83s.
Uh-huh. So meaning I guess Euros is treated the same as Worlds where you have to actually qualify in your weight class to make it. So okay, so you weren't able to so you were able to do Euros in the 93s theoretically if you wanted to, but not in the 83s.
Then yeah, I would. But then my total at 93s has to be higher. So in terms of like, because I did 800 and everyone else did like 820 plus. So if I
Oh,
pushed
okay.
it at 93s, but I didn't really, my intention was to compete at 93s. I didn't really want to push it
Right,
too high.
right.
So then it was like, so if I placed higher 93s, then they could have considered me for 93s. But yeah, because I placed fifth overall, against everyone that was there.
Okay, so then right, but even so, like obviously it wasn't at 83 technically, but it was 83.2, like the 800 kilo total. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess you were the second GB lifter to do that after Jurgens.
yeah,
And like that already probably put you just overall as one of the higher lifters in GB, just because
yeah.
like
I
your
think I
scales
placed
were
was fifth male. That's what qualified me to do Arnold's because you get like out of seven they get picked in the
right.
country. So that's why I got to do Arnold's.
Okay. So right. So Arnold is interesting because it's not like a like Euros. Like obviously you have like it's like a. I mean, for most this year's weird because they have two Euros that are like 4 months apart. But in general, like you have like the strongest people in your weight class. It's like a mini worlds kind of thing. But here it's just like you're competing on GL score against like random other. I mean, but it happens to be of all classes, the 83s at the Arnold UK was supposed to be closer. I mean, there were a bunch of 83s who all came in like nominated close. So like there was supposed to be a battle. I mean, you ended up blowing them out of the water, but you were supposed to have some head to head. So coming into to the Arnold UK, like what were your goals?
My goals, like I pretty much hit what I wanted to hit, really, just bar the last deadlift. So I was like, it was 305, 187, and then 352. My plan was to like do for eight. It was gonna be between, because I gave my handler all my numbers before. So like poor range for squat would be 300 to 305. The good range for bench would be 187 to 190, but usually it's 187 because bench I don't really tend to push it because it just cramps my upper back. And deadlift was going to be anywhere from 347 to 352, but I really wanted 352. So the goal was like 837 to 845, really.
So you were hoping to like on a good day break that world record.
Yeah, that was like the intention. But it was more so also depending on what Kajal was doing, because I thought with Kajal it'd be hard to kind of get him unless like, because I had Kajal doing 802 on the day because I thought you're going to be 270, 200, and 332, and I think that was going to be 802. So I thought, okay, cool. If he misses any of these and I hit this should like allow me to win. But I didn't anticipate him doing 815. I was like, fucking hell, all right.
Yeah, I was totally off on that. Like I also thought like based off like the nominations and everything that he had a big lead and that he probably wasn't going to cut all the way to 74 because it's not a weight class thing.
Same.
So I thought like he's going to come in at like 77 and like I thought he was going to total like 810 but like at 77. So yeah, I did not. And then I look at once the actual weigh-ins were in, I see he's under 74. I'm like, oh wow, okay, that'll be interesting. So what we're saying is oh yeah, so we're talking about, so you basically hit your goals. So I was looking at your training. I don't know, like maybe you hit or whatever, but like it looked like your best in prep, like your best numbers were you hit a 292.5 squat, 182.5 bench, and 335 deadlift. Did you hit heavier than that you didn't post, or were those actually your heaviest?
That's just how I train. Like it's kind of like just with how injuries I've had, I just know this is the best that works for me. So my anticipation with my squat is 12.5 on my squat and training, about 7.5 on my bench, and then about 15 on my deadlift. And that's usually where I was at.
Okay,
So
you basically
training know the difference.
Right. No, I'm saying you basically got up to like RP9s or like second attempts, like in training, which I like. You way too often. It's way more common to see the opposite, where you see people hit these like big training totals and forget about getting more. They usually end up like going like 10 to 20 kilos below it in the meet. Like there was in Euros, there was another 83 who put up like an 830 training total and then totaled, I don't know, like 790 or something in the meet. Like that's way more common. So, but I mean, I did see all the videos, and there was like I remember like I wrote down notes, and like there was like room on all of them. Like none of them were like maxes, and even at the meet, your 305 squat, like that was like you probably had a little bit more, but that was like a good call. Your third bench, your third bench was just easy. Like there was it did not look like a third. It looked like
no. But the issue with bench was because on my opener I got a super long hold. So like we just dialed back bench just in case we get the same for my third, because the bench got easier as it went on because I was like they gave me more room, so like yeah, that was kind of what happened at bench. Like bench was like a low ball. Like there's like 2.575 on there.
You for sure had 5 more there. Like 190 was there for sure on the day. Yeah, and then deadlifts obviously like your opener flew, your second flew, and then you jumped to 350, which I was wondering before you put in the jump. I'm like, is he gonna go 352 and a half to get the record total? But then even that, like it came off the ground like really fast, like super. Like was it faster than you expected? Even because like
it
obviously
was
you've never
faster than I expected. I thought it was going to be a bit harder. So I don't know. Maybe that played into factor what happened because it moved super easy. Like it felt better than 335 did coming off the ground. Oh, this is great. And then like I don't know, my little right knee locked out earlier than my left knee, and this was like it made me like shift. Right. That's what caused down motion. I was like, oh, great, okay.
I mean, you often see that a lot of times on the opener sometimes for some of the bigger sumo pullers where like it just comes so fast that they have a bobble just because it's like super fast. So, but like you don't usually see that on the third attempt. And it was like it just came off the ground fast.
I was like, dude, what the fuck? I was like, okay, cool. But yeah, it did move faster than I expected. Because I thought it was gonna be a bit slower, but I was like, it felt great. So okay, cool. There's a bit of room. But usually with my attempts, like I'd usually take off like 5 on squat and then 5 on deadlift, just because Squat usually tanks my deadlift, so it's like a bit of leeway with squat, and then deadlift, whatever's kind of there is there. But deadlift felt really good.
Yeah, I mean, you're becoming there aren't so many, like there are some big deadlifters and there's some big squatters, but there's not many people who are pushing into the 300-ton squat with also like, I mean, obviously you didn't technically get the 350 deadlift, but like you're somebody who's pulling at towards the end of the flight, but on deadlift and then also on squat, which is not super common. I mean, you're well rounded, and even bench, like yeah, you don't have like a 200 bench right now, but like 185 was like super easy. So like, I mean, once you're at that point, like there's no weak lift, which is obviously at this point to be like world level, you basically can't have a weak lift unless you pull 400 kilos.
Like even then, like 200 is like, I don't know, it just gets to the point where it's like it's nice, but then you have like 210 benches, like fucking hell, man. Like you can't obviously be bad at one lift and win in a sense of like, for example, like Russ is super well rounded, Delaney's super well rounded, Duran's is super well rounded. Bar bench, I would say, but he's well rounded. Like you can't like have one lagging lift unless you're an Ina, but it's like
Right.
He's the only one.
Yeah. Would you obviously would have been nice like to have been in that battle with Jurns and Enos, like you could have beaten like Jurns head to head. Like that's obviously like because it's different. Like it's hard to compare. Like obviously the bottom line is you have a bigger total, so you are number one. But it's not the easiest thing to compare like when you do it in different meets. Cause like I mean that's the great thing about head to head battle and why like the IPF is better than like untested and whatever. So you actually get to see the best go at it against each other. And then like there's all the game day stuff. It's like I mean just like the simple things on attempts and everything. Obviously, like here you had way more than 825, like so it wasn't like a matter of like I don't see a scenario where you wouldn't have won on the day, but like it could be close and then like somebody could change their attempts or whatever, or like or it depends who go for like you went second, right? So that's also like an advantage. Like it's not like it's not like you're going last. It's like no, you're literally going whatever it was like 2 days later or the next day or something. So yeah. So that'll be interesting. How does it work? Like I know it's weird. I was talking to somebody about like how GB picks their like teams for worlds. How does the selections work?
So from my understanding right now, it's like if you've done the selection meet and you have a place there, then I think it's down to head coach who decides. I think he decides who he wants and he gives it to the board. Then a board gets to decide like, cool, this is the team. So I think like that's kind of what's happening now in terms of because I know his decisions is like obviously Ade because you've missed weight and obviously because if he changes it for me, you've got to throw everyone else in a mix as well because obviously you have like what's his name? You've got Sanchez who did really well at 105s. You have Abdul who did really well at 120, and obviously with the performances the other guys had at Euros, like he's going to be in the mix now. So it's like it's not just me who needs to get his place; it'd be Sanchez and Mo.
So that's, I mean, it makes everything complicated because there isn't just one, when you're picking from multiple different meets, it's much harder like to have a direct, but you said it's up to the coach. So it's up to the coach. Then can he just say like, okay, who is the head coach for GB?
Paul Marsh.
Okay. I'm not
sure.
Yeah,
I've heard the name.
I think it's down to him to pick who he wants, and then I think the board approves like the decision.
Like, I mean, you would think, right? Like, if you're the head coach, you would think like you want to take like just the strongest team to worlds. Like you want to take the team that has the best chance of placing highest. So you can look at. So I would say like discount local meets, but like you take all like the selections, Euros, Arnold, whatever, all the like international and national meets, and say, okay, here's our strongest team, right? So like let's say we bring 283s and maybe 120s, and like maybe we don't bring a 66 if we don't have any 66s that are like on a total like 650 plus because they're not going to place top 5. We'd rather bring a second 83 and a second 120 or like, so I would think that's how it's done, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I think in the sense of like that's how it was done previously because we had like an A total, B total thing with our head coach. Right. He was like, we have an A total, everyone that hits this or percentage over this is who we're taking. So he obviously some of them had to get taken into consideration as well. But with what's it called? With how Paul wants to do it, it's more around like he wants to put great emphasis on being a British champion and winning nationals to get selected, which is what the path he's going for because it then makes things. He then says like if that's how we're going to do it, people might not want to turn up for nationals because they know they can just qualify at a later meet and just do something random where no one else is there, just so they can hit the total they need, opposed to doing it like all together. That's kind of what you didn't want to happen.
Right. I mean, I think that actually makes sense. I think nationals should be the qualifier, but the problem is with when nationals was this year, it's just not practical. It's like they had the same issue. There was a whole in Canada nationals this year. I think is like either right before Worlds or after something that they can't qualify. So they're using all these other meets, and it just makes it complicated because you're taking like 4 different meets and like who has the best total. But like I think it should just be set up where there's a season where all the countries do their nationals like within like 1 month, like in a range, and then Worlds, and then like all the regionals should also be the same, like Euros, Asians, Commonwealth. They should all be the same. Like this way, everyone has like the same schedule. Everyone has the same amount of time between nationals and Worlds. Like it should be one set schedule. I think that's the best way to do it. But obviously, this year
that'd be great if people like. I think just agree in that kind of time frame with how people are, it just being possible. Like it does make practical sense in the sense of getting everyone on board, and it makes everything super streamlined. But you'd have to agree that across different countries, they'll have to find a location at the appropriate time. They'll have to get all the lifters ready at appropriate time. They have to go through their board at appropriate time. But just be super logistical to handle.
I don't think it's like too like it could be a little bit staggered. Like it doesn't have to be the exact same time, but I think it's not so crazy to have like a schedule. I mean, every other sport has a schedule. It shouldn't be like totally random. You shouldn't have countries where like they're doing nationals like 6 weeks before Worlds or something like that. It's like a weird. And then you also just end up with weird things like I mean like last year like Joy had to she was doing Sheffield, but she had to do nationals right before it. So she couldn't cut for both. So she did nationals at 63, and then she couldn't go to Worlds back in the 57s. Like you just end up with like weird, like people like having to make just changes based off like the schedule. Like it should be the opposite. The schedule should be set, and then it should set you up for like being able to do a season where it's like maybe some people do 2 meets, some people do 3, some people do 4, but like you should be able to have everything planned out in a way that works out. That's what I would say.
Don't your lifters get dispensation? Like, couldn't Joy get dispensation for Sheffield?
Wait, what?
Like dispensations, like when you're injured or have like extenuating circumstances where you can like skip a meet.
No,
not really with injury, but with Sheffield, it was kind of set up where lifters didn't necessarily have to do both. Like Amanda Lawrence, for instance, she didn't have to do both Sheffield and nationals. Like they just took the highest total between the two. So she was like, all right, I'm not doing nationals since they were so close together, if that makes sense. But like if she were to be, let's say, injured, then she couldn't do Sheffield and she couldn't do nationals, then I don't think they wouldn't make an exception for that, for her to like just go to the Worlds, even though she wasn't able to do either qualifying meet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I think I'm trying to remember who it was, but every country's different because I think like Pana couldn't do nationals. He was injured and whatever, and then he ended up they still sent him to Worlds. I think it just depends on like the country's rules, but I don't know what the best way to do it is, but I think it also depends. Like certain countries are more competitive. Like if you take a small country that has like, let's say like they'll send a Worlds team, but let's say they only have like 1 or 2 lifters that are really competitive. So they're going to put them on the Worlds team regardless of what they do at their nationals. They don't care. Like, but if you have a country like nowadays, like France, GB, US, Canada, like the countries, I guess those are the like probably the higher level countries. Then like each weight class is like pretty competitive, and like you can't really give advantage to somebody if they miss a meet or whatever.
I think with here like because we have a dispensation thing where like I think some guys who got to go to Sheffield didn't have to do nationals, or if you're injured, you might get an opportunity to still do it if you can have to like a qualifying meet or like a separate meet. Because I know with Owen, he got dispensation, but he'd done like a separate meet like earlier, which he could qualify for to still do like Worlds and stuff. That's why he went to Worlds went to Euro. Sorry.
Right. Oh, so he got right because he got that year the second Euro spot for the 83s. Even though did he do the selections meet?
No, he did it in meet earlier than that, but he had dispensation, so like he
Right.
gets
So he didn't.
a pass for it.
Right. Because otherwise, I would say because if you got the same treatment, then you would have gone either way. Because like you missed weight at the selections, but at Manchester Open, you still totaled more than he ever did. So like you broke his total then. Oh, like Owen, I don't know what his best. I think his best total was right around like 775 or something.
770. No, I think it's 772.
772. Okay, but either way,
Yeah.
You already beat him before that, but I guess it didn't count. It counted for him just because he was coming back from injury, so they gave him like an exception.
Yeah.
So when do you find out about the Worlds team? Like, do you have a certain date that you're gonna know?
Actually, I just double checked over this thingy. It's actually 777, so 0.5.
You barely beat him.
That's it. But I think the meet he did it. So he did 770 at the meet he did to qualify. And then regarding the Worlds team, I don't know. I think we should find out soon because I've already set my like next set of blocks. So I'll see.
Yeah, I mean we're already like 12 weeks out or something, maybe 13
Yeah.
weeks.
So like I kind of need to know, but it's a thing of like I know Paul's decision is like no. It's down to the board once like throw their hand in and say, hey, take Ade. But I'll probably find out in a few weeks. But either way, I'm going to train with the intention of doing either Worlds or Manchester Open or All England's now. So I'm either, what is this now? I'm either 12 weeks out or I am potentially like 20 weeks out. Yeah, because Manchester Open is in August, literally my birthday. So yeah, I got to compete on my birthday. It's great. 21 weeks. Either 21 weeks or 12.
Oh, so it's a pretty big difference. I mean, that's like an extra couple blocks, right? I mean, I guess like there's nothing in general. There's nothing else around Worlds time because the goal, like in a lot of countries, like everyone that's strong is going to Worlds. So it's not like you could do like another. There's no like other big meet around then. So you're training as if you're going to get the world spot, and then if not, then you'll do the Manchester Open.
Yeah. It'll just be like it'll be a thing of I've got 3 set blocks planned. If not, I'll just like maybe extend one or add a few more in to kind of account because ideally would like to like have a bit more of a break from SBD. But if the next few blocks I don't know, I'll just kind of extend it and go from there.
And when is the next nationals?
Oh, nationals is November it's on the week of the 19th of November. So like nationals is it's a while now from here. It's about 36 weeks.
So for next year, nationals will be the regular. That'll be the standard. That's what's going to qualify everyone for both Euros and for also is this time of Euros the March Euros the Euros going forward, like going forward next year's Euros going to be in March also.
I think it's going to be around the same time. Yeah, because they've changed the calendar now, so this will be like the new Euros time.
So I guess it would set it up so that nationals in November you qualify for either Euros in March or Worlds in the following June or both, like that kind of system.
Okay, that actually works out really well. That works out well because then you qualify, like whoever wins nationals qualifies, and whatever has to hit some sort of total qualifies for both Worlds and Euros, and then whoever like some of the people who are going to do Worlds probably won't take the Euro spots, and then it'll get dropped down to the next people. Okay, and then there's still going to be whatever the Arnold UK or whatever other meets for other people that are like close but not there. Okay, so that's a better schedule, and then but this year that they didn't have that. Okay, so you don't know when you're going to find out. Sometime soon.
Yeah, I mean the nominations end in about a month or a little less than a month. So I guess sometime within, like they'd be cutting it close, but sometime within the next like 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, it's one of them.
That's late.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty late.
I feel like they should have a meeting this week with like the board and be like, okay, like because it's not, if it was one person that's different, but since there's like you mentioned like just I think you three, Mo and
Sanchez.
Sanchez. So like they just have to decide like what to do because it affects like the whole team. Like who's the 105 if it's not me, because Mo's moved up to 120s. Who is that?
Yeah, Ben Pape, right?
Ben Pape. Okay. And
coach.
What?
That's my old coach.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who's your coach now?
Oh, I coach myself.
Oh, you coach yourself.
Wow, that's crazy.
How long have you been coaching yourself?
Last 2 years. So it's been from 74s all the way to now. I've coached myself.
Like since you made all your like crazy progress.
Yeah, well, the couple more, I would say like the first year and a half rough, but the last like 6 months has been worth it.
What made you like go like coach yourself? Like it's so uncommon. You don't see many like high level lifters that coach themselves. So like, how did you decide that you're just gonna coach yourself? And
it wasn't like my plan was actually to coach myself. It was more like my plan was to, because my actual plan after you do years of 74 to do MMA for like 6 months and then come back to powerlifting and have Pig be my coach still. But then like I think what happened was actually I saw Dylan Nelson we did a 300 squat in training, and I was like, oh, okay, that's juicy, because I planned to like move up. I was like, oh, that's super great. I'm not going to move up. I'm going to stay 74s. And then so I pushed that week of training with the intention of coming back the following week, and then like I'd flared my back up. I was like, okay, cool. Actually, let me stay. Let me just continue my plans of going 8-3s, and I'll probably put the MMA dream for later. And then it was a thing of, because I'd already done it. I did it to myself. Get myself out of it, which is a silly way to think about it. I was like, let me just get myself out of this mess I've put myself in. And then I just stuck with coaching myself since, because I was like, oh, it works. Okay, cool. I'll do it again. Make some progress. Cool. And just kind of figured it out as I've gone along.
So what's your training split like in general? You have like
that's a fun one, man, because a lot of trial and error and random stuff I have to take out. So I don't do SBD days anymore. So like how it works is my primary deadlift is day one. The next day is my secondary squat and tertiary bench. Then I've got one rest day. Then I've got my secondary deadlift and secondary bench, and then I've got my day rest. And then after that, it's going to be my primary squat and then my primary bench. So it's like heavy squat at the start of the week, and then heavy deadlift at the start of the week and heavy squat at the end of the week. I think that just works for me.
Right. And that also works well, because then you have like your heavy squat and bench are at the end of the week and your heavy deadlift at the beginning of the week. And then when you compete, it's like those 2 days are like your last day and your first day. So you're combining those. So instead of having to do an actual SPD day, you're taking your last and first day.
Yeah. It just works a lot better, because I can just maintain less. I'd say like I've just had more consistency with doing it this way opposed to trying to do SPD days. I'm sure SPD days beat me up too much, especially like juggling work and everything. It's just harder to maintain with SPD days, especially they're super long as well. Like, yeah,
right. And the fatigue from your like primary squat day at the end of the week doesn't hurt your primary deadlift day like at the beginning?
No. Okay,
so that works out well. So you coach yourself, and I saw now you also just coach in general now.
No. I say I coach a little bit. Like I coach more because like I've had the same guys for like ages, but I only coach a few people. But I work as a consultant. So I work within tech strategy. That's my service I sell. So a firm. So that's what I do for my main job. And because coaching is like something I just do like because I like coaching.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Okay. Fine. So you can't really know your plans yet because it's up to the GB team. What are your, forget about which meets you're doing, what are your like goals, I would say, for like, let's say the rest of this year? Like what are your goals?
Again, it depends really, because how I do my goals now is like, obviously I've got the aspiration for what I want like the end of the year to end, but it really depends on how this next block goes. So I've kind of more geared it towards like, so my set of goals now for this block would be like 270 triple, 175 triple, 297 set 7. So if I hit those, that sets me up for 315, 195, and then 362. So if I hit, like, if my blocks go as planned, that's my next goal would be 315 and 195 and then 362. So yeah, we'll see.
Oh wow, I just did the quick math. That's a lot.
It is, but then it's very doable. Like that's like if I just hit, again, like I've hit these numbers, it'll work. But I need to hit these numbers, then I'll know.
Right. So you go like block by block. Like you set up a goal for the block, and you're try to finish the block with those numbers, and then based off that, then like as you like when you move to your singles block or whatever, you're gonna adjust based
Yeah,
off that. Okay. So right.
yeah,
Okay. So your goal is definitely. I mean, you definitely want to. Well, if you go to Worlds, then that next block would be soon. If not, you have like the whole year to push those singles. But by the end of 2024, you want to be the number 183 in the world? Yes or no?
yeah, that's a sweet question. I would love to be. I think, but it's not. It's not even my goal. It's like it kind of. If I hit the numbers I've got in mind, it'll happen. But I'm not really trying to chase being the best 83 in the world. I'm more around just trying to chase the numbers I've got in my head to hit. And if I do that, it'll happen.
So you find it easier to chase like specific numbers in your head versus like rankings?
Yeah. Like the rankings, I think initially when I started, I was more like rankings, great, I'm going to chase it. But I feel like it leads me more towards messing with my training opposed to just focusing on my training.
Like
Uh-huh.
Like,
it
if I
seems
worry
now.
about,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, because like if I try and chase them, I'll make silly decisions with my training. Like if my goals to try and chase Russ now, I'll make all my goals geared towards numbers I need to hit to beat what he's doing. Or if I'm trying to, like for example, like I was trying to chase Durans when I moved up to 74s, and I made silly decisions with my training because like, okay, cool, Durans done listen training, so therefore I need to do listen training. And like, okay, cool, he's triple 290. I'm going to try and push my triples to. Do you get what I mean? If I just let go of what he's doing, and just focus on myself.
Right. You can't chase it. Right. If you chase it like that, then you end up in trouble. I mean, it
Yeah.
does make for fun for the viewers, but like when you chase, like I forgot what it was. Somebody hit some huge deadlift the other week, and then I saw somebody else like post this like 1 kilo more or whatever. Like it does make it interesting, but that's not the best way to go about the training. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then regardless of what you do next, then in November you've never battled Jordan's head to head, right?
No, I haven't.
So November will
Nationals.
be your first time at nationals will be your head to head.
Yeah.
Okay. And then obviously like that's technically like unless you do worlds, that's like the most important meet just because that qualifies you for all the big meets.
Yeah. That's the real like big meet for me this year. It was kind of like, but what else? Yeah, so it'll be.
I mean, it comes down to like if you make the world's team, you're going to be battling against Jurans and potentially Russ, depending how the block goes there. But if not, then you're going to have that showdown in November.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what's the time scale. Yeah, so it's like.
I mean, you seem very like nonchalant about all this. Like, yeah, I'll do my block and potentially I'll hit these numbers, and that would equal like the number 183 total. And it seems like, are you not so much focused on like, because the world's team selection is like out of your control, you're not like super focused on that? Because like in my mind, I'm thinking, dang, if you were to go to the worlds, you could be the favorite for at least hitting the podium, if not like challenging Russ. But like, since you're so focused on yourself, are you just kind of like, okay, if I go, I go. If not, it's out of my hands.
Yeah,
and you would get that opportunity next year.
Yeah, like how I look at it is like if I do get to go now, see, I know like what my numbers would be. It's like the numbers I've got for this like in mind for these next couple of blocks is like set me up for that 315, 195, 362. So like that's what I was worried about if I go to Worlds or not. Otherwise, I'll just change it to reflect what I'm doing at Manchester Open. So I'm not necessarily worried about what these guys are doing because like it's not. That's just their training. Like I don't want to worry about it because it's not going to help me. I guess obviously if I do it, it's the biggest total in 83s. Great, but then it's like if I come at it from that point of view, I probably won't hit it. If I come at it from like let me just do what I think I can do in terms of like what's ahead of me, then I probably will do it. It's just about how I like to frame it. And like it's just less like daunting. Like if I'm thinking I want to get the biggest total 83s, oh my god, that just adds way more pressure and just like stress on it. It's just I like to chill, man. Yeah.
Right. I mean, in general, it shows like the way you structure your training. Like you hit like like PRs in the gym, but like none of that, but then you hit way more at the meet. So like you're not one to like chase the number and then just like try like you have to hit this. Like you set up your blocks, you do like if you execute well, then you know where you're at for the meet and then you just perform. So like that is the best way to do it. I mean, some people still like saying like, I mean, I remember like listening to the podcast with Ina a couple years ago where he's like he's gonna lure Russ back into the IPF or whatever. So it's just like some people like, especially as they get closer, it's like once it becomes like a real goal. I mean, for perspective, a year ago, your best total was 745. Right now, you did 825 with more in the tank. And if you hit those numbers for anybody who's not going to do the math, 195, 315, 362, that's 872.5. So just like the growth in like that year to 2 year span, like a year ago, like, yeah, you had already done junior worlds, you had already done junior Euros, but like at that point you had been to 74, never done anything in the open in the 74s, and like had just moved up to 83s. And I would say I honestly did not know who you were a year ago, and I think most people didn't. But now like I mean nowadays like everybody knew like Jurgens over the last couple of years. He'd been like in the battle at Worlds. Like at this point, like everyone should know who you are. Just like you are the number 183 in GB. You are the number one lifter in GB, like regardless of weight class. And you're one of the
male, not all around, because you have
a male, number one male.
Yeah. Bobby is a way away. She's like 119.
Well, wait. Speaking of that, I don't know if there was a whole controversy where the scales at the UK Arnold for the women's were way off.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Well, Adriana, you could speak on this more since you spoke to Agatha.
Yeah, sure. I spoke to Agatha and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like I was watching. I thought you would know more about this since you were there, but of course it didn't affect the male scales. But I was watching some of it, like I was busy, but I was looking at the stream and I saw Agatha weighed in at 69.85. Bobby weighed in at like 53 point something. And I was watching and I was like, is Bobby going down to 52s? Like, what is going on? Like, why is everyone weighing so light? But I didn't think anything of it at first. I was like, oh, I guess they're just cutting like for the good lift points, or maybe Bobby's coming down to the 52s. I was like, is Bobby like trying to pull an Evie here? Like, is she going to go to Worlds as a 52? And then I'm like posting Agatha in the stories, and then she messages and she says like the women's scales were supposedly like 3 kilos off, like something crazy like that. And I was like, how does that like 3 kilo? Like I get like maybe like 0.2 off or whatever, but even then it should be calibrated. But like 3 kilos off, like I was like, what? Like, how does that even happen? Just a weird situation. Cause it messed with like now I haven't checked what Bobby has like I forgot what she put up at that meet, but like it gives her like, I imagine it gives her like her best good lift score that she's done, but it's like it's an official weigh-in, but supposedly the scales was off, so it's just kind of weird. Oh, Ade, you're muted. Or something's going on. Like you're not muted, but
yeah, for some reason, you just keep changing my.
There we go. Yeah, you're good.
You keep changing to the virtual one. I don't know why, but yeah. Bob, I was gonna say Bobby's is 119.51, which is nuts. It's like, I think she's number one in the country now, and I think overall she's like up there.
Oh wow, even above Joy.
Yeah, she's like 2 points on
Joy. I know that's why it was just weird with the scales, because I found that she weighed in at 53.2. I was like, is she coming down to the 52s? Like,
oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, I thought that.
But like,
and like if you look at it, her best GL score before that was 113. So like I think just there was something obviously wrong with the scales, and like it's not just her. I'm looking at like some of the weight classes, and like some of these make no sense. Some like Caitlin Baxter also, she competed. She weighed in at 52.9 for the 57s. Joy and both 63 lifters weighed in at 58 in the 58s.
Oh yeah, same with Joy. Like I saw Joy's weigh in.
Yeah,
And
all the 76s weighed in the 71s.
okay, yeah.
In the 84s, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Temitope, she weighed in at 79 when she always weighs in like close to 84. Like all these numbers are way.
Yeah, okay, I get what you mean. I think. Okay,
I know. I saw Joy's weigh in too, and I was like, "Is she coming back down to the 57s? Like, are we gonna
like,
see a 3-way battle at Worlds? Like, what's
it
going on
messes
here?"
everything up though, right? But it
Yeah.
messes everything up because all the like it doesn't it still makes a difference even in the meet because like it's not direct. Like if you weigh a couple kilos less each person, it affects the lighter you are, the less kilos you weigh, the more it helps your GL score. But like for all the rankings now, all these people just got a massive boost in the rankings that like they all just gained like 5 to 10 GL points like purely by doing the meet. Like they're all moved up. So yeah,
Well,
I don't know what they're gonna do about that.
Yeah, well, if they knew what the difference was, they could just like add it on later on. That's still fine.
Yeah,
But
I
they won't
don't
be
know
able
how
to.
it happened.
That's what I thought. Like, it's just weird
It would
because it's
also
an
change the
official
actual
weigh-in.
rankings.
Yeah, it's like an official weigh-in, so I don't even think they can do anything about it.
Yeah, because they need to know what they need to have something to compare it to. They need to like, okay, cool. What if they can't? If they, it's weird because they need like a separate scale so they can compare the scale to know like what's the observation like. Because yeah, other than that, they can't really do anything about it. But I do see what you mean. Like there tends to be a trend of people being lighter on land than what they usually are on average across most people.
Yeah, like at first I was getting so excited because I was like, oh my God, like Bobby might be a 52 at Worlds. Joy might be coming back down to the 57s. Like I was trying to set up some storylines here, but then Agatha was like, I think the scales were like messed up. Same with Agatha, like she weighed in like just barely over 69. I was like, I thought she's been eating. I thought she's been eating up since
everybody is
Sheffield.
weighing lighter.
Yeah.
Everyone's weighing lighter because everyone. This looks like one of their lightest weigh-ins in that weight class for most people. I'm just going through the list now.
Yeah, and if you even look, the 52s, the reason why they're not light is because I looked them up. They're 57s. They shouldn't be in the 52s.
Oh yeah, I saw I don't remember her name, but there was one
Emily Martin.
Yeah,
Emily Martin she's only competed as a 57, or not only, but like she basically mostly competes as a 57, and then yeah.
Let me see. What was her name? Oh, Emily Martin. Oh yeah,
and then,
like she put up 450. At first I was like, who is this person in the 52s like putting up 450?
And Allison Hewitt, she competed at 55.2 3 weeks ago. And then she weighed in at 51.3, 4.1 kilos less 3 weeks later.
Oh, yeah, that's mad.
That's like 8% of her body in 3 weeks as the scales are just wrong.
Yeah, something was off there.
Yeah, I got you in. Okay. Oh, mad. Didn't notice that.
Yeah, but either way, yes, we're saying so like you're the number one, at least male, the number one GB lifter. But yeah, so just like in a span of a year, like the amount of gains you made is quickly, and you're still young. You're 24 or 25.
25, 26.
You're 25. 25. Okay, so 25, still young. So like, if you get the shot this year, then great. If not, then you just gain another year to first get the battle against Jurans and then a battle at Euros. Like, I mean, you've never at the open level like had like one of these like Euros or Worlds. So like, or even national. So
yeah,
you'll get a few more battles under your belt, and then you'll still have like next year, you'll still be like you're still going to be on the younger side next year, and then you'll go next year and have an extra year to build and compete against. Like, I mean, like Russ just did 860, so I think it was 860. Yeah,
it was 860.
Russ did 860. So like, is it possible for you to get past that in the next 3 months? It's possible, but like if you have an extra year, in a year and 3 months, I'll tell you, 860 is not. You won't be happy with 860 if we're talking next year, June.
No. It just depends. Like, if I do my next set of blocks the way I got planned, I'll hit my numbers. It's just one of them. If they just go to plan, that's really it. But I think 860 is doable for me. Over the next. Yeah, I don't really like to think about the total itself. I just like to worry about the individual numbers, and then like
right,
they just add up in a sense of.
Right.
I know it sounds silly, but it's like I'd rather just like I want to do 15, 105, and then like those just tend to be easy to hit than like fixating on the 860.
Right. It's less scary because each individual lift, like like it's not just a random number. Like you have a plan. Like okay, you're gonna hit your blocks and go like this, and each thing's set up. Versus like a total, like it's like okay, it's just a big number and a big increase, and like it's harder to look at. But yeah, I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. And then I mean, you're still only been in the 83s for a couple of years. Like, do you put like is 83 like a class you're comfortable with? Like, is this the class that you want to stay in long term?
Oh, so usually I sit around 86.4, so I've still got a fair time to chill at 83s. But I think like if I do what I want to do over the next like year, I probably will move up because I don't think there's any point staying. Like if I probably be the same thing for 74s. If I hit like a high enough total where like I'm ahead of people or enough people, I'll probably just move up because I want to just grow. Because I don't think I'll stay 83 forever. I think I probably will move up potentially next year. We'll see how this next time goes.
But you want to don't you want to at least get that at least one opportunity to do worlds as an 83 before you go up?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. It depends really. It depends on what my next couple meets are. But then even if I don't get to do worlds, but if I get like another meet which is kind of worth it, I'll probably just kind of go from there. But for me, I think I'm more worried about like just making progress and just getting stronger. So if it gets to a point where like there's been times where I've been like 87-ish, and I'm like, if I get to 87, 88 again, and I'm still fairly lean, what's the point in staying?
Right, because then you're like at a certain point when you're lean in the class, like you're limiting your like you just can't get bigger, and then like you're limiting your progress. How tall are you?
Oh, I'm 5'5".
Really?
Yeah.
So right, so you're not like you're trying to pull a Christian and go 74, 83,
83s, 93s,
93.
105s.
Yeah, you're trying to go all the way classes.
But now Christian's done it better though. Christian's like actually won nationals. Like
right.
So
hey, but you like if you had hit your if that deadlift counted, I think like that would have given you like only 5 kilos under his best total ever at 93.
Oh, cool.
I think his best total is 845.
Oh yeah, but to be fair though, with the 845, like that wasn't Christian's like best day. Christian just had like he had misses.
His best day was really at Euros. He just took a huge jump to his second deadlift and missed it, and then like he could have totaled like 865 on that day.
Yeah, because he takes big jumps on deadlift, similar to me in a sense. Like takes bigger jumps.
He takes big jumps and on squats, and he sandbags his squats usually.
Yeah, just because he's had a few injuries, so he's like taking it kind of easy in the sense of like knowing what you can push and what you can't push.
Right. I mean, that would be nice either way, because like you would want to at least first get your chance to go head to head with Jurens. But like once you do that, like there are 93s in GB. Like it's not like there are 93s who already passed your totals. So like it's nice to like go and now you have a new goal to pass them and like as opposed to being like number one where like you're number one by a lot and then it's like people are coming after you, but like it's always good to like be on that like chase and just build.
Yeah, like it's not as fun, man. I don't know, because like I get people's logic when I moved up was like, why are you moving up? Why did you stay 74? But it's like it's not as fun if like I'm 20, 30 kilos ahead of everybody. Like, what's the point? Like it's not exciting. Like if I'm like the one chasing people, then like at least I know cool this person's ahead of me. Like they're doing this in a training. Okay, cool, that's more exciting. Like I'll go to the gym for that. Opposed to like I'm gonna go to the gym for I'm already ahead. Like, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's actually very common. It's more common, I would say, probably on younger lifters, but even like people get competitive in a weight class, whether it's competitive nationally or internationally at some level. And then they're stuck in that weight class. Like they don't want to move because if you move, a lot of times you're gonna at the beginning, you're not going to be competitive anymore. Like if you have a competitive total one weight class and now you go up a weight class, you probably have to put on whatever it is, 30, 40, 50 kilos. And like, over long term, it's probably might be the best, but like short term, like it's gonna take some time to get those.
Yeah. But that's fun though. That's exciting.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there's two 93s in GB who have 845 already, and then there's also Nathan who's like he's still young, he's like and also still new in the 93, so he's probably gonna get to 845 or more pretty soon also. So like
Yeah.
if you do like stay in the 83s for like another year and a half or something like that, where you get like one more full season and then you move up, like it'll be a new opportunity. So
Yeah, like there's especially like because there'll be Christian, there'll be Nathan, there'll be forgotten his name, man. He has the current total, I think.
Maxwell.
Max, yeah. Apologies, Max. But yeah, there's Maxwell. So like those guys are making good progress. So like there'll be people there for me if I move up.
Right. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. So I also wonder what that means for does Christian have his spot for Worlds also, or is he another person that is not automatic?
I think it's automatic for Christian. I think because it's Christian and Nathan. Because obviously in fact they still place second and Nathan still plays third. But I think for them it's kind of automatic, or I don't know. We'll see. But I'm assuming like they're all going to be on the team.
So
Yeah, it's a weird one because like for us to get on the team, they have to take people off. So it's like they got to like take them off in certain ways, and it's like it just gets
right.
awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I don't think any 66 from GB should make the team, honestly. And I don't know, 74, like maybe Dylan Nelson, but that's it. I don't know if he was supposed to compete at the Arnold, right?
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
He didn't compete. So I don't know what happened there.
I have no idea. I don't speak to those. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So yeah, I mean, if it was up to me, I would go, let's see, 8-person team. I would say no 120 plus. I would take I would take Tony and Mo in the 120s.
Wait, what about Indiraj? What about Indy?
Mo's ahead of Indy.
Really?
And Mo is not. Yeah, and he's not.
Oh wait, yeah, because he competed at Arnold. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what I mean. Like it changes things a lot.
It makes
it
makes it tough.
They need to make the case for Mo, Sanchez.
Happens to be in general for GB the most stacked class is like the 120s. Like you have like so many people. Like you Tony, you have Mo, you have Indy, you have what's called again? Oh, you have Nonso now who's going to open. He's going to total like 900 plus. You have there's like a few more like who are like also over 900. Right, yeah. So I would take I would take Tony and Mo in the 120s. I would take Sanchez in the 105s.
Sanchez out total Ben Pape?
You can take both of them. Yeah, he did. I think Sanchez and Ben in the 105s. That's 4. I would take Christian in the 93s. I would take you and Jurens in the 83s. That's 7. And there's one spot left. And the last spot. And Ish, right? And Ish in the 59s.
Boom. That's the dream team.
That's the team. I'm gonna ask.
We made it right now. We don't need a board. We didn't need a week. We didn't need 2 weeks. We got it right now.
I'll see if
we're gonna send this over to team. Paul Marsh.
Nah, Paul would be like, "What the fuck is this?"
who are these Americans? Like, what are they doing?
Like, coming in.
No, we'll tell Ish to make this team. Ish will post the team.
Yeah, Ish will send it over.
He'd be like, we need to take the best team possible. You put a hashtag in my video. It was like hashtag let's take out into Worlds. I was like, dude, stop. I was like, this might as well start petition. But like, guys, sign it. If you want the greatest battle 83s, sign this right now.
That's great.
Who's I looking up at? That's what I'm looking up. Yeah, because looking at Pape and Sanchez is.
Yeah, I was trying to look at Dylan too because he didn't...
actually no. To be fair, based on his Euros total, obviously Sanchez out totaled Pape I think by 1, but overall Pape's on high total. Pape's on 877.
Yeah.
But it's just a thing of like, and then he's total.
I would take both of them.
Because what did Sanchez total and at what meet? Was that Arnold?
Yeah.
What he total? Do you remember?
He did 873.5.
Oh dang! And then Ben did 872.5 at Euros.
Yeah. But I
Dude,
know
that makes it so tough.
Plus,
yeah,
he gets the advantage of breaking Christoph's deadlift record. That's hard to do.
Right. That was That was
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, fucking Sanchez, man. OP bastard. Guy did if he almost pulled off 411. Disgusting.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
Yeah,
Like we were just like, it was just a few months ago that like we were all talking about like whether Indy could eventually hit 400, and then he like hit like 396 or whatever, and then like now, like obviously Sanchez always had a big deadlift, but like it's still kind of out of nowhere in terms of like this big.
Nah. His deadlift progresses disgustingly. So like he's gonna get that in like the next meet, or like maybe the next. I think probably next one or next two, because he did what did he do now? He did 387 at selections, and then he got 411 off the ground. So next meet,
Right.
potentially, because he adds on.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
12.
this
15.
year in general. This year,
Yeah,
every meet's got 362, 373, 387, 391. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, so like he's gonna do 400 plus for sure next meet.
Yeah, he needs his squat and bench to go up a bit.
Yeah, to be fair, they do progress. It's just that slower pace than his deadlift. Squats like 5-10 kilos, or even to be fair, even then he's made a lot of progress in between westerns and selections, because he went from 255, 270 to 290.
Yeah, squats are moving. His bench is like has been like a little bit more in the same whatever, but like he's got like really long arms, obviously. So
Yeah,
but yeah, that would be insane. A 105 to like we could see like at the same meet tries to like pull 400, then Sanchez pulls like 411, like it just like I still remember this session. It was at World, I think it was in 2021, where like the deadlift world record in the 83s got taken like
3
times.
times. Yeah,
and the first time it was taken, it was like Russ did it with like 330. 330 for an 83. Now 330 is an 83 is like you're opening the flight. If your max is 330, like at Worlds, like you'll see like four people like trying to pull like 350 or whatever. Like I'm saying, like is gonna load 400. I mean, Nick Mander's not gonna be on the team this year, but like he loaded like no, he missed out. He missed it.
It was kind of the same situation. It was the same situation where like for the Canadian team, they had to do a bunch of different meets, or like they were selecting from a bunch of different meets. So Nick went to Westerns like just like 2 weeks ago or something, and they had to beat Cafwee's total. And it was like 800, I think, right on the dot or something like that. And then Nick, like, I think he was sick like a little bit before the meet, and then he tried to pull for it, but it wasn't there.
Oh no! Okay.
I know. I mean, I'm happy for Cafwee too, because he hasn't been on the world team in like a couple years. But
yeah, Nick he missed about like 2 kilos last year, and then
it's fun. Like the 83 battle in Canada is fun. I kind of wanted Nick to be there too, because he's just like funny. He's like a heel.
Yeah, he's one of the better.
He like hypes up the class.
So then, like, what's the fair? Are the rankings up then for? Are the nominations up then for Worlds? So I know the US team looks crazy at the minute, but
yeah, I mean, I'll say it here. It'll come up later, but we're getting a clean sweep on the men's side. I think
it's got something to say about that.
Well, you're not officially on the team yet. Well, that'll make it.
No, but not even that. But 93s is 93.
No, so 93, right? 93s, I would say 93s and 66s are closer. I think we win the 66s, but the 93s, right? 93s, literally anyone can win. Any of like the, like Petrie could win. What's called the end? Emil could win. Gustav could win. Like the 93s, like everyone's close. Like everyone's like around the same, like right below that 900 mark. It's so weird that Keiko's not gonna be at Worlds this year. It's so strange.
Yeah, that's gonna be weird.
Yeah, like the whole US team is like so different than like the teams like the last, like no Keiko, no Taylor Atwood, no Heather Connor,
Right, no Taylor,
no
no
Bonica,
Gavin.
no Gavin.
Oh, is Bonica not coming?
Alexis Jones beat her.
Did she?
Alexis Jones, the number one. She's the strongest woman ever. Alexis Jones. She's totaled 721 or something like that.
Wait, see, now you've lost me because like Bonica was at Sheffield, and then
You know what? I think you're like the powerlifting American Nationals was like literally going on at the same time as your meet,
yeah.
so it was kind of tough to follow.
See, I'm out of the loop now. I thought she was coming. Okay. Damn, okay, that's interesting.
You're kind of thrown off. Okay.
I'm catching up as we speak. Okay, so we got okay, 83. Okay, 74s. Get off. Okay, move top. Move off.
74s. That'll be a very close battle. I'm joking. I mean,
because Kajal's progressing really well at the minute.
Yeah, I think it'll be closer than people think. I don't think Perkins has any reasons to like push the world record too much for Sheffield. I think that'll probably be reasonably close, like within like 15 kilos. Like people think like Perkins gonna go and win by 50 kilos. It's not gonna happen.
No.
Unless like everyone has a bad day. Like he's not just gonna go in there and win like on like openers.
Yeah, no, because I know Kajal teased 835, so we'll see. But again, he's progressing really well, man. So I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, you don't usually expect it. Like he's not young. He's probably mid 30s. Like, but it's weird. Sometimes that happens. I mean,
yeah, because again, it's similar to me, like in a sense of like he's had injuries for a while, and then like he's finally got over them, and he can actually like progress at his normal pace. And that's kind of what you're seeing. It's like you could do it. It's just he's had so much shit to deal with before. Then we have, because it'll pretty much be okay. We have Carl as well, but Tim, because I think it's really just going to be between Kajal and Perk.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Callie and Tim both like competed at Sheffield, which was recently, and like neither of them look like they're close enough to break into like the maybe 800, but like I don't think either of them are doing like the 830 that they talked about like anytime soon.
Hey, you never know. Like, you never know.
I want them all to do it. Like, it would be more fun if they all do it. Like, if it's all close. Like, if
I get what you mean. It would probably be around the like 800-ish range early.
Yeah.
Because I thought they would do 800 at Sheffield. They were under what I thought they'd do. Because I was thinking that Carly would do. Because me and Drew talked about this. I was like, because I've competed against Carl before, so I know what his numbers are like anyway. So I was like 287. Yeah, because I thought he was going to do 800 on a dot or 800.5, but he just did 785. I was like a cool surprise there with that.
Yeah. I mean, he usually doesn't miss lifts. He didn't have like his best day, but
were you at Sheffield?
Yeah, I went there.
Was it fun? Did you go the first year too? Like, do you live like relatively close?
No. I went to uni in Sheffield.
Oh, okay.
Sheffield's like an hour away from Manchester. So I live in Manchester. But Sheffield I didn't go last year. I went this year. I should have gone last year, but I was like, it's fine. I'll like, surely it's not that good. And I've seen all that shit. Okay?
surely it won't be that great.
Yeah. I was like, but this or that, yeah, it was worth it. It was good, man. It's good. Like it's like a different vibe. Like typically, it felt like I wouldn't say real sports event, but it felt like, dude, like this is what meets could be like. It's more like a spectacle opposed to just being like good lift.
Right. Yeah. Even like Worlds like this year in Malta, there was at least like for the primetime sessions, there was like a lot of people watching, so there was cheering. But like Worlds previously, like it was just like like no noise, no whatever. Like, yeah, like good lift. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's never going to be World is never going to be like Sheffield because it's just not going to be at a place that has that many seats and people aren't travel. Like it has to be at a location that whatever. But like it is, I think, getting better. We'll see. I mean, this year Lithuania is not exactly the most exciting destination. Malta just sounds more fun. But
it'll have to do.
yeah.
Yeah. But to be fair, like some of the locations that, to be fair, you have Commonwealth this year, which is in South Africa. That'd be a sick location to do it in again.
Yeah, that is. It's just it's a nightmare traveling, but it is a cool location, South Africa.
Like, is it like a thing of every? Because I don't know how the locations work. Is it a thing of every has to be somewhere different? Are they on like a rotation?
No, so you put in the bids, and then like they just accept, I guess, the best offer and whatever. Like, cause like they did Sweden like twice in like a 3-year span. They did Belarus, and then they were supposed to do Belarus again, but I don't know how they did. The first time they did in Belarus, one of the lifters' siblings got pushed out a window of the hotel and killed. So I don't know how they then tried to do in Belarus again at Worlds. Like a lifter's family member died at Worlds, and it's like, okay, let's just do it in Belarus again.
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't. That was a weird one. That was a weird story. I was like, how even how that went about. Like, but even then, I think when they wanted to do it, there was like a lot of stuff going on, and they wanted to put it in Belarus again. I was like, dude, this doesn't make any sense.
There's so many like destinations that like would be awesome places to do it. Like just do it in like Paris, do it in like Rome, do it in like these cool like they're like do it in Madrid, do it in like you could do it somewhere in England. Like don't do it in like some random country. Like don't do it in Lithuania.
But do you know how the bids work? Is it like isn't what do you mean like get the best offer?
So the country like the countries like the federations like putting it off, so they get like funding. Like it was in Malta last year because Malta's a small federation, but they got like a ton of like national funding. Because like if you do it in like let's say if you try doing it in London, right? London doesn't care about what London has. The biggest thing is everything. Like they're not going to pay any money to have it. It's just going to be super expensive. They're going to have to like rent out a huge place. Like it would probably, I don't know how much it would cost, but to like do it in like London or do it in like New York or whatever, like would just cost so much money, and they would get like no funding for it. So something like that. I don't know the exact specifics, but yeah. So
Okay. Now I get what you mean. It's like the country that can support the event the most probably will get. Okay. Cool. Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
Right. So also just as easier if it's like Belarus, Lithuania, like things are much cheaper. Like it costs much less to run the meet. So like it's easier to do it. Like, yeah. And then like Sweden's convenient with like obviously like Aliko and everything.
So on the topic of the sweeping, because we've got okay, 666. I'm not too followed the 66ers too much, but what is because I've got what is the total for the 66ers?
So
Like
Jonathan
the world record
Garcia.
total?
Yeah, what's the American total?
I think 715, if I'm correct. Let me.
Yeah,
check that out.
Jonathan Garcia, he's been to Worlds before, I think just once. Didn't go last year, but he won PA Nats last week with 715.5. So he's coming back. He's making his return.
And then so he's about who else is there?
It's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be like Jonathan and Panna, of course, coming back. And then probably Kyoto as well. Japan.
I'm not sure. I don't think
You're not sure about Kyoto?
He's a reserve as of now. Like Japan already put
Really?
in their nominations. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Because I guess he didn't do well at Sheffield, or what was the meet?
Yeah, he didn't do well at Sheffield.
Right.
What'd
Somebody
he
else,
put
yeah.
up?
So I don't know, but he's I think I checked like 2 days ago and he was a reserve.
Like, let me see what he put up. He put up 690 at Sheffield. So it's like I would imagine that would put him on the team.
Oh, so
but
right. So 690, obviously, right. That's for sure higher. I mean, probably higher than whatever they have. But I guess at like nationals or whatever, he just didn't. Yeah, because like they
like,
have
he might not have been to nationals.
right. They have somebody. Japan has another 66 nominated.
Yusuke, yeah, he's been at
Sasaki.
Worlds before.
Yeah, so he has a 687.5 nomination, and then
Oh, dang.
Kyoto's nomination is 667.5. So I guess he did, like, he did Japan Nationals and just like didn't go all out and didn't.
That'd be
I'm not
tough.
sure.
That'd be tough if he's not there. He legit like nearly won last year over Panna.
Yeah, he could have won with.
Yes, it's gonna be like Jonathan, Panna, Yusuke, like he's on the nominations, and potentially Kyoto could get, like, I wonder if they'd be able to like double up on that weight class. I know they have before. And then Kasim-san's on the nomination too.
Right. I wonder what. Yeah, maybe he's
Yeah.
back. Like, I mean, he had
Honestly,
the
how
world
his
record.
health is. Yeah, he legit had the world record and then didn't do as well at Worlds. So I guess it's like a battle between like who, am I missing anyone else? I think that would be it. Battle between those 4 or 5, depending if Kyoto gets in there. That'd be good.
So I'm looking through like what the okay. But then why isn't Nam lost as to why he's not being picked? Because if Thingy has a higher nominated total.
Who, Kyoto?
Yeah, so why is he a reserve?
I know that because I mean, I don't know exactly how like Japan is going to do their Worlds team spots. Like potentially, like Mike said, Kyoto might have gone to Japanese nationals after that and then like didn't do as well. Like that's why he's got the 667 in there. But I mean, it's not an open powerlifting.
Yeah,
I need to keep up. I need to start watching
Japanese
nationals.
Where's that?
Yeah, a lot of countries, like besides for like US, Canada, like besides for the European, like a lot of countries like don't have their like local meets and stuff on like open powerlifting. Like I know like India, China, Japan, Russia, like you cannot find Ukraine, like you cannot find their, like you have to go onto a separate website and like find their results for their meets. I don't know why, but
I mean, it's just because like someone from, like, you have to have a volunteer in each specific federation to.
No, or they could just send them. Or you're saying a volunteer to send the results?
Yeah, I guess to like consistently send in the results.
Right.
So I guess it just like doesn't happen, or you perhaps have to like translate the results from that language. So it's kind of tough.
You could just ChatGPT it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Honestly, you probably could. Like, I wonder, like, how long, like, if you ChatGPT'd it for a while and said, like, find up all like powerlifting results from all websites, and then like get it to eventually find, like, it keeps making mistakes until like you get what you want, and then just tell it like enter it into open power. I wonder. Does ChatGPT have like the power?
You can set up a GPT for it. Like you can set up like.
Does it have the power to like change? Like it can't edit things on like open powerlifting, can it?
No, but you could.
No, you have to like import the results.
But it could probably format it for you if you teach it.
Yeah. So they could get it into a point where like they post the results in, get it in a format they could then export to put into open powerlifting. So they could like create a GPT to translate it.
Interesting.
We might set them up eventually. Just depending how it goes.
It wouldn't even take too long to do. It's just like somebody who actually has the time to like sit down and tinker with it. See, now I can't even find you Kyoto's thingy. But
I know that's what I was wondering, because his nomination is, we've got an echo. Anyways, his nomination is 667.5, but I don't think he's ever done that in a meet.
Yeah, he must have had it.
At least not on open powerlifting. So like, maybe he went to Japanese nationals after Sheffield, and then the turnaround got him. Quick turnaround.
So realistically, we've got, what's his name, Panna and Jonathan. We've got Kajal and Austin. 83s will most likely be the Durans versus Ross.
You potentially.
Me, we'll see. I'm not holding my breath for that one.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then
then
Russ.
93s is where it gets way more interesting. We've got Gustav. We got I can't even say his last name. Not Eric.
Emil
Krasa.
Yeah. And then we've also got Petrie. So that'd be super fun. In terms of pushing each other. See, that one's like
that one will be tight.
Yeah, that's the one that it's like totally up in there. Like, who knows who's gonna win?
Yeah, because like they're like a couple kilos off each other, so that's great. 105s. Okay, that's Ash is just gonna dog everybody. Yeah, so okay, that's fair. 120 again. Bob's we're gonna dog everybody. Because unless they have a really, really bad day. Even if they go like 6 for 9, they could still win, which is just disrespectful.
Yeah. No, I don't feel like
120.
I think there's a bigger chance of Ashton losing than Bob losing. Because like Anatoly is insanely strong, and if he's healthy and whatever, like I don't see Bob losing.
Yeah, no, Bob is the one where, but even Anatoly and Keiko, the deadlift is what lets Anatoly down in terms of making a difference.
Right. That's tough. Like,
it'd be super hard to make up the difference with a squat and the bench and then maintain it with the deadlift. Like, it'd be
actually, the truth is it's hard because like Anatoly has like the world record squat, but Ashton squats more. So, and Ashton deadlifts way more. So he only has an advantage on bench.
Yeah.
And it's like he has a good bench, but it's not like Keiko where he gains like 40, 50 kilos on bench. He'll gain like 20. And then he's gonna get out deadlifted by more than 20. So yeah, I think they're gonna win those.
Yeah, so I mean, 120 plus Jesus. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I hope soon
Fuck you guys.
Tamor soon will. I think he could get like to like 1100 in the next like year or two.
Yeah, I think potentially. Because he put up like 1060 or something at Euros.
I think 1063
this is so depressing. It's just depressing, man. This is I'm so upset.
So what we decided is you're doing 83s this year, next year 93s, the year after 105. In 5 years you'll be going up against Jesus in the 120 pluses.
God, great. Nah, fuck it up.
As a 5'5", man.
I don't think I could do 105. I do not think I could do 105. I think it'll probably be a thing of if I go up to 193, I'll probably do like a sweep back down. I'll probably retire. I think that'll probably be the most fun.
105. Like, who's the shortest 105? I don't know. There's probably one. I mean, you could make 105, but like you would just have to.
I'd just be chubby. I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm doing that. No, I'd just be like the Michelin man. I'd be short, chubby, and dude. Fucking hell no.
You'd be 5'5" in multiple directions.
Like a fridge, like a loaf of bread. No way. Nah, man. Yeah. Probably be like 93s, and I'll probably like do a sweep back down, and I'll probably just be like, deuces, I'm done. That'd be cool.
Well, yeah, that would be cool. Like if you could do worlds at 83, then 93, and then back at 83, that would be.
Yeah, like I think it'd be cool ending it back on 74s as like a last hurrah, like a last dance thing. Like where you started.
You would have to lose way too much muscle to get back to the 74s.
But it'd be like such a way to go out though. Like imagine making it like as your last meet is where you started. That'd be super
but like think about losing 25 pounds.
Yeah, but you probably could gain it back after. But it's just like the.
Like you just want the full circle moment.
Yeah, and then you probably just gain it back after the meet. But like, done now.
Yeah, I mean.
Also, imagine how much stronger you'll be when you come back down as well.
Well, unless like you have to lose all your muscle.
Yeah, but my 24 tour wasn't even bad. It was 723. Like, especially after, because even then when people come back down, they're always stronger. Like, what's his name? Timothy.
Right.
Timmy.
Yeah,
I don't know why I said Timmy. I don't even know him, but
Yeah.
but when he came down, like he did, like he put up similar numbers to his 83 bar, squat, and bench. But they were like deadlift was like I think he all-time PB on deadlift.
Yeah,
Squat and
deadlift's
bench,
weird.
you know.
We're like, it doesn't. It's not necessarily like correlated with if you lose weight, like maybe your levers get better. Like his deadlift kind of like exploded, at least in training, and on the platform. Like he I think he still holds the world record.
Yeah, he got it, and then he almost got
It was like 352 or something. I don't exactly remember.
But yeah, no, I think going full circle would be a cool way to end it. That'd be cool. Okay.
Fine. So that was an interesting segue into whether or not the U.S. is gonna clean sweep our Worlds or not. But listen,
yeah, I think the best chance is
hopefully we get to see you in the 83s, and then we can add another battle to that list. So
yeah, no, that'd be cool, man. So the only other chance really is like 66, 74s, 83s, 93s potentially. Well, 83s maybe. Oh man, that's so deep. Just the reality of it all. It's really actually just saying of like okay, cool. But yeah, man. Anything else?
no, that's I think we went through basically everything. So you want to just like shout out? Do you have any sponsors or anything?
Shout out my mom for giving birth to me. Trying to think. Oh, SPD, obviously SPD because they helped me out. It's pretty cool. So love you, SPD. Who else? If I had some stuff sent in recently from ESN and Fankers, so we'll check them out and see if we can work together potentially. But that's pretty cool. Everyone wants a piece of Ade now after the performance, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, all you companies out there, you got to start hitting Ade up, and like he should be getting he's expecting his Gymshark sponsorship next week, and then his I don't know what other the big companies in the UK.
Need the VQ, we need everything really, man. Just send them over and we can talk. But send money as well. Come on, guys.
Gucci, go hit him up. Let's go.
Give him some loafers. Oh, fucking hell. But yeah, man. Now it's good chat to you guys, man. Hopefully it's been enjoyable.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, thank you for coming on. It was a fun conversation. Went random places, and that's good. It's always better when it just goes wherever it goes, rather than being like too stuck on one specific thing.
Super scripted, like coming in.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm like. I'm a bit random, so yeah.
Yeah, random's good. I like that.
All right, cool guys. I'll let you go then.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, and good luck making the Worlds team.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'll make sure I send this over to Paul. Be like, hey guys,
we got the team lined up. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, we'll have to clip that and send it to him.
Oh, dude. All right. Cheers, man.
Okay, thank you.